And in Revelation 22 and 17, it says this: And the Spirit and the bride say, Come. And let him that heareth say, Come. And let him that is athirst come. And whosoever will, let him take the water of life freely. It's yours to freely take. And the Lord says, Come. And the Lord says, You are welcome. And the Lord says, You are invited. And the Lord says, I want you. And the Lord says, I love you. And come. The doors of the church are open. He says, Come and take of the water of life freely. And in John chapter 4, Jesus meets the Samaritan woman at a well. And he asks the woman to draw some water for him. And she was curious why he had asked her this. But in verse 10, Jesus said to her, If you knew the gift of God, and if you knew who it is that is saying to you, Give me to drink, you would have asked him, and he would have given thee living water. He says, If you knew who I was, you would be asking me for some living water. We just read where he says, Who is ever thirsty, come and drink of the living water freely. He is saying, Come. And if you knew who I was, you would ask me. And if you ask me, then I will give you this living water. And in verse 13, you see where the conversation continues. But Jesus answers and says to her, as she's talking about something natural, he says, Whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again. But in verse 14, he says, But whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. He says, The water that I will give you will be a well of water inside of you, springing up into everlasting life. He says, Whosoever will, whosoever is thirsty, come and drink. Whosoever will, I will give them freely of this living water, of the well of life. Whosoever will, let them come and let them drink. So I actually started off ready to teach a whole nother Bible lesson for this Friday, and I stopped, preparing it for another day. And I really just want to emphasize this: the call of discipleship, that the doors of the church are open, that God has his arms out for you and to you. He says, With loving kindness have I drawn you. John 3:16 says that for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. It is with his love and the cords of love that he's drawn you. It is through love that Christ made the sacrifice for you. That's why it's open freely for you. All you have to do is take it. There's no stipulation on it, whether you male or female, whether you white or black, whether you tall or short. It doesn't matter. The Lord says, whosoever will, let them come and let them drink of the water of life freely. If you're thirsty, come. If you're tired, come. If you're hungry, if you're burdened down, if you're overwhelmed, if you're depressed, if you need help, come. If you're lost and don't know your way, come. If you don't understand, still come. Come and take, because the Lord is ready to give. I'm going to leave it right there.